Hello everyone, my name is Christian Capers and I'll be reading my original piece, Ebony and Ivory. Ebony, what kind of name is that? Ivory asked. The name of your new partner, the booming voice from the ceiling replied. Earlier that day, Ivory was drinking from the water fountain in the square when the water had decided to swallow him. A whirlpool carried him to the famed underground Lilo's headquarters, an agency that employed the top crime fighters of New Des City for New Des City. I don't do doubles, Ivory stated, folding his arms. He had been the sole hero of his previous agency, the neighboring Saldana Fights, for as long as he could remember, and he didn't want anyone squashing his macho. Skill sets of your new partner, the words were nonetheless printed on the overhead monitor. Risk taker, can disable practically anything, a tad bit impulsive, big deal. He's also good with hardwiring and extremely tech savvy. Sounds like a total loser. Do you want to get paid for today? Yeah? Then stay, but fix your attitude. These skills would complement your abilities quite well. Besides, aren't you tired of fighting alone? A new friend? Yay! Ebony had gotten a similar introduction into his new partnership arrangement. A loose tile he'd stepped on his way to a cafe, gave way like a trapdoor and transported him straight to Lilo's headquarters. Ebony and Ivory, like the Stevie Wonder song. What are the odds of you finding someone with that exact name for me to work with? At least someone has the right attitude, the booming voice praised. Now, abilities of your new partner. Skilled in MMA, tough cookie, always thinking ahead. Ooh, I could use me some of that, Ebony mused. I've already spoken with Ivory about this arrangement. He's been on his own for years, and I gotta warn you, Ebony, he may have some slight adjustments to make. He blinked, confused. What's that you say? Wait till you hear what he said about you. Ebony was a well-loved hero in the community, the symbol of freedom, if you will, and everyone and their cousin looked up to him. Ebony didn't know how to handle this, so he waved his hand. Because I'm fierce, he's jealous. That's the spirit. Your next assignment begins now. Now? Wait, I haven't even had breakfast yet. A case dropped from the ceiling onto Ebony's lap. Here are the tools you might need and the briefing for the mission, the voice said. Now go kick some criminal. Heine. Ebony paused on his way out. Please don't say that again. Sorry. The nefarious Proton the Terrible was at it again. He had rigged a train from the nearby town of Michelle Villa to go crashing into New Des City, obliterating everything in its wake, to which he would case the place and rob it with no one stopping him. Taking over the world was not free, It required several down payments to the Doomsday National Bank. On top of the train stood the two new partners in crime fighting, who had to decide what to do and quick. We have to disable it, Ebony proposed. Okay, and how do we do that? Just leave it to me. You go look for a break. Ebony dove into the roof of the train and began disconnecting the wires. Ivory hand-sprung into the conductor's cabin, kicking down the door. Seconds later, Ebony's concentration was ruptured by Ivory's voice on the speakers. What does the break even look like? He groaned. Just find the lever and push it up. There is no lever. Well, look harder. A bead of perspiration trickled down Ebony's face as he tried to keep his sweaty, shaky hands from pulling the wrong cord. He was leaning heavily towards the green one. What if that did something terrible? His partner's voice came in again. I feel like I should be doing something else. How about you stop all that yakety yakking while I'm trying to do this? I can barely hear myself think. The future of New Des is at stake. Who made you the leader? Ivory exploded. I never said I was the leader, Ebony explained. It just seems that way because I'm smarter. Says who, your skill set? You can't even throw a punch. Okay. You can't even locate a train brake. He heard a frustrated sigh. Okay, Ebony. Okay, Ivory, if you want to play like that. If he wanted to be like that, then fine. He didn't care what his partner did, so long as he kept them grubby paws to himself and stayed out of the way. Ebony could continue being adored as the symbol of freedom, and Ivory could continue being the solo muck monster fighting street urchin he was. Then finally, by the grace of God, the train skidded to a stop, and Ebony slid into the wall. He had accomplished his task. Suddenly, he saw black. Ebony and Ivory woke at around the same time, groggy and disoriented, and bound to a pole in Proton the Terrible's lair. The villain turned around in his spinny chair, his fingers steepled diabolically. Ah, the sleeping beauties have finally awoken. Took forever. You were so cute when you drool. What do you want? Ebony said. Let us out, Ivory shouted. Patience. Proton paced the lab. As a matter of fact, you're both to blame for making me go this far. Interfering in my master plan. Stopping my train. How dare you? How dare you? Ivory held out his paw, and Ebony slapped it as best he could. But 'twas not all in vain. In fact, you've just earned yourselves front row seats to the show as I release the FOAB. FOAB, Ivory repeated. Father of all bombs. Ebony gulped. City goes sploosh. Proton shook with chills of excitement. Sploosh. And before you ask, well, how are you going to case the joint? Anything worth taking is in bomb-proof safes. Smart town. He spun around, pointing at Ebony. And I couldn't have done it without your help, my boy. Me? He shrieked. What'd I do? You ever so graciously alerted me to your presence when you pulled the green wire. You turned yourself into a homing beacon? Ivory went in on his partner. You were supposed to be the smart one. And you were supposed to be the Ronda Rousey of Nudez City, Ebony retorted. With all the MMA know-how. Where's your know-how now? We ain't saving the city know-how. I am not taking the fall for this. That's right, fight. Proton golf clapped with glee as he swiped the sheet off the big red button. Keep fighting while I take my time pushing this big red button. Ebony looked around and spotted a metal slate hanging from the wall. That was when he remembered he'd bought his special headband his grandma gave him specifically for missions like these. He thought about bunnies and rainbows and things that made him happy, zapping a laser onto the shiny surface, which then bounced back to cut the ropes. Ivory sprung from the pole, backflipping to kick the crud out of Proton, and they tussled. Get off me, brute! Get off me! Ivory ended up on his back, twisting a hand behind him while his partner ran to the control panel. Tick-tock! Proton tilted his head towards the timer, counting down before the big boom. 29, 28, 27. Turn it off, Ivory said. Which one is it? Ebony broke into a cold sweat, searching the sea of colorful knobs and switches. His hands were getting all sweaty again. Are you kidding me? His partner crowed. You can't find a button to stop doomsday, but you get on me because I can't find a train brake? You learned that stuff in Basic Training 101. No pun intended. Why are you such a jerk? Because you called me a loser before you even met me. That really hurt my feelings, Ivory. Then stop acting like one. Ivory twisted harder and Proton's cackles dissolved into cries of pain. And I don't know, he said. I guess we'll just have to destroy the whole... Wait! I've got it! Of course. What was the opposite of red? Green! That was what the color wheel hanging on his art teacher's wall in second grade said, and she had a master's. Green got them into this mess, and Green was going to get them out of it. Ebony slammed the lime button with his fist and sent the FOAB into the sky, detonating it and creating beautiful fireworks. In the shape of a rose, no less. How he did it, no one knew. Various Nudesians came out of the shelter to admire the spectacle. Ooh, they said. Wow, Ivory admitted. Pretty, Proton breathed. He wiggled around in Ivory's grip. No! Ebony took out his celly and dialed, smiling at the fallen villain. Hello, police? He paled. No, not the popo. Please, not the popo. Anything but the popo. Proton started bawling. I can't go back to jail. I can't. Outside the lair, Ebony and Ivory watched as their charge for the day got taken away. Ivory glanced at his partner. Hey, so that whole firework thing was kind of cool, I guess. Oh, Ebony said, thank you. And Ivory rubbed the back of his neck. Listen, what I said back there, back in my loads, that wasn't, forget it. Ebony walked away, towards the town barbecue they were holding in his honor. As the sun began to set and the rib eating drew to a close, the mayor that always managed to look like he was going to bust out of his suit any second waddled up to the front, his glass held high. To Ebony, he announced, our symbol of freedom. Thanks for not letting Proton the Terrible blow us up. That would not help my re-election bid. Hear, hear, everyone echoed, and Ebony nodded, like my people. I'd like to make one too. The Nudesians turned as Ivory stood, raising his lemon soda, to a new partnership. I'm happy to be working side by side with you, Ebony, and I mean that. Ebony rose, feeling like helium. No, my friend, I'm the one happy to be working with you. The I to my E, my partner in crime fighting, the symbol of... Ebony had to think of another noun. How about strength? A little voice piped up. Okay, strength, the symbol of strength. Ivory smiled at the table. And I want a copyright on that name, by the way. Freedom and strength, the mayor continued. Brains and brawn, chocolate and vanilla, Ebony and Ivory. Boy, am I one lucky mayor. Hear, hear. Everyone in New Des clinked their glasses and the party resumed. Tune in next Saturday for more adventures of Ebony and Ivory. The end.